Well, hey there, bosses. Welcome back to another of our live broadcast Ask Me Anythings, where I answer your most pressing social media marketing questions for 20 minutes live on air right here on YouTube every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Today, we are talking about some questions that you have written in early, but if you are joining me live, I would love to get your questions answered. Go ahead and drop those in the comments. We'll pull them up. We'll get those answered as we go. Today, we're going to be talking about which platform is best for you to use, how often should you be posting, how do you get engagement. We're even going to be breaking down how you can use longer videos on IGTV even though they have a time limit. So here we go. We're going to dive in. We're going to get to all of your questions. I'm really excited for this one today. We're going to jump in with a question from Alexis. She says, what social media platform is the best to reach more people? So here's the deal. Right now, we know we've got a lot of really cool platforms. We've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, we've got TikTok, and they all reach a different audience. So it depends on what industry you're in. It depends on what niche you're in. This does vary a little bit, but in terms of overall looking at everything we've got, we know that Instagram is getting really, really, really good engagement right now. So if you are trying to build a following, Instagram is probably the place for you to be. Now, Facebook is also really, really good because it reaches a different audience. So if you are catering toward maybe my age and older, and I'm a little bit older than I look, guys. So if you are like 30 plus, maybe you want to look at Facebook. If you are below that, or if you're like 40 down, you're going to want to look at Instagram. But we also know that YouTube is really good because it is searchable content. YouTube is fantastic because it's owned by Google, and Google is a search engine, as is YouTube. So when Google is kicking out information to people answering questions, they're also kicking out those videos. So for you, knowing what Alexis actually does, I know she's an artist. She is going to want to be focused on Instagram and YouTube for her. And then I also highly recommend Facebook because she can do some pretty dang cool things with her messenger bots as well. So right now, for the best engagement, you're going to want to focus on probably Instagram, followed by YouTube and Facebook. And in some industries, you're actually going to want to start looking at TikTok as well, because they have so many users and very, very few entrepreneurs are over there marketing properly. So this is really great, very cheap real estate for you to be making a name for yourself. So thanks, Alexis, for writing in. I appreciate your question. We do have questions coming in. So if you are joining me live here on YouTube, I would love to get your social media questions answered. We are going to take a look at some of the ones that came in a little bit early. Shout out. Keeping Up with Liv commented on one of our videos over on YouTube today, and she said, love how all the steps are totally doable. So we dropped a brand new video this week all about how you can get newsletter subscribers from Instagram stories. And we gave a step-by-step template of exactly what you can do on your social media, on Instagram stories, to get people to sign up for your newsletter, which we know is so important because your newsletter is where people never miss what you're saying. People will miss your Instagram posts. People will miss your Facebook posts. People will miss your YouTube videos, but they can't miss your newsletter unless they are actively deleting it without reading it. It always shows up in their inbox. So our goal as entrepreneurs, the best thing that we can be doing is actually getting people over to our newsletter, because that's consistent and constant communication with people. So you want to make sure you're getting people over to your newsletter. Liv, I'm so glad that you are enjoying our series on our Instagram hacks, specifically on how we can get people to join our newsletter from our Instagram platform. I've got a couple of videos out on that. We're doing even more. And I want to know from you guys, do you have a question about social media? I would love to get that answered for you. Go ahead and drop that down below. We're going to take a look at a couple other questions that came in this week, and I'm really excited for these because we get to talk about some really cool social media platforms and what we've got going on here. So Amber wrote in and says, what's the best way to grow followers that interact with you? Okay, so Amber, here is the deal. You need to grow platforms where you have people interact with you. We know the social media algorithms are favoring people who are getting interactions. We know the algorithms rank text posts the lowest, then photos, then video, then live video. And that is because it's based on how people are interacting with these things. Most people are not going to read text posts. So if you're just writing words, people are probably going to scroll on by that one. If you are posting photos, that's fantastic. It's visual. People love visual things, but it's really, really easy to consume a photo and then just keep scrolling. So you don't get quite as much interaction on that, which is why it's not ranked as high. Then we've got video, and video is amazing because people have to stop and watch for 3 seconds to decide if that video is going to be right for them. So that's 3 seconds that they're not scrolling, where they're actually watching your video before they decide if they're going to stay or if they're going to go. Now, live video is even better because people take 5, 10, 15 seconds to decide if it's going to be for them. Sometimes they even hang around for a few minutes, and that's because they know you're live. You're in real time. They have the ability to connect with you, to interact with you, to have a conversation with you, and to comment on what you are doing. And so they actually stick around a little bit longer. So the social media algorithms are looking for content that gets people to stay on the platform. So if you are creating content that gets people to stay on YouTube or to stay on Instagram or to stay on Facebook and keep looking through your content or through other content that is similar, they are going to start promoting you. So we know that getting that interaction is going to help our algorithm standing, which determines how much of our content is sent out to more people. This is really important. So how do we go about getting that interaction? Well, we've actually done some videos here on the YouTube channel where we've talked about what to do to get people to talk back to you on social media. Now, we know these algorithms are ranking our engagement in different ways. So a like is ranked less than maybe a reaction on Facebook. A like is ranked less than a comment. A comment is ranked less than a share. There are different ways of doing this, and it's based on watch time, it's based on comments, it's based on shares and hearts and likes and follows and all of those subscribery things. And so we need to make sure that we are creating an atmosphere where people can interact with us. So what's the best way to get people to interact with us aside from creating really good content? Well, it's to give people permission to react to what we're doing. Most people will watch us. They'll listen to us. They'll see our videos. They'll see our photos. They'll read our comments. They'll look at our polls. They'll look at the stuff we're putting out there. But unless we specifically give them a call to action, they're probably not going to take action on it. In fact, I know I've seen so many really pretty photos on Instagram, but because I don't really have anything to say about it, I just give it a little heart and I move on with my life. But if the person who has posted that photo has included a really good caption where they've asked me a question or they've asked for my opinion or they've given me something I can comment on, then I'm going to be much more likely to take 2 seconds out of my time and answer their question or leave a comment or react to them in some way that is not necessarily just a little heart on Instagram. So the best thing you can do is to give them a reason and specifically tell them to do something. And usually that is to react to what you're saying. So reply with your opinion or answer this question. So you are going to ask them a really good question as your hook line for whatever your caption has to be on your videos, on your photos, on your stories, whatever it is. Give them the ability to do that. Now, if you are using a platform like Instagram, where they have Instagram stories and they've got all those really cool tools, you do have the ability to actually use them, like the question box or the slider feature or the poll feature. All these things are going to get engagement. So every time you are putting out new content on social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, what have you, you need to give them the ability to interact with you in the easiest way possible. So on Instagram, use those tools. Give them a poll, give them a sticker, give them a question, give them something where they can just tap a button, slide a finger, and they're good to go. But that counts as an interaction and they don't have to necessarily type. Train them to do this. The more you train them to interact with you in small ways, the more likely they are to interact with you in bigger ways when you ask for those bigger things. So start small. Go small all throughout the week and then do 1 or 2 really big asks where you're asking them to leave a good comment or you're asking them to send in a good question. Now, this can be as simple as, are you a morning person or a night person? Comment below. All they have to do is say morning or night. Now, they can add a sentence to it, but they don't have to. Start them small. Then throughout the week, as you're continuing to interact with them and have the conversations with them, you're going to build up what they're doing and ask them for something bigger, like a couple sentences to answer your question. This is a really great way to build up your following, get people to interact with you, and it's your job to do that because you absolutely need to make sure that's happening because if you don't, your algorithm ranking is going to be down and your content will not be shown to nearly as many people. All right, if you're joining me live, I would love to hear from you. Go ahead, send in your questions. If I don't get them to them today in our 20-minute conversation, we will be getting to them next week because I want to make sure I'm getting answers for everybody. And I love when you guys join me right here on our YouTube live Ask Me Anything weekly sessions where we jump on air for 20 minutes every single Wednesday to get your questions answered in real time so that you don't have to wait for my videos, my courses, my trainings, my bonuses, all those extra things that I've got for you guys. And I love hanging out with you live. So leave me a little comment, love, and let me know what your social media questions are so we can get those answered for you. And if you have more questions about Instagram stories, I'm launching a book. It's coming out in the next week. I'm so excited for this one. And it actually breaks down everything you need to know about Instagram stories and how to leverage it as an entrepreneur. So stay tuned for more details. We're just waiting for the tech end of things to go through, and then the book will be out for you guys. So I'll give you all the details when that goes live over on Amazon. All right. Bikini Fit was in our YouTube comments this week and says, great content. I get so overwhelmed sometimes on Instagram stories. Great tips. Hey, I'm so excited that you are loving these tips. We are talking all about Instagram stories and Instagram hacks over on our YouTube page, and we're super excited to see you guys. I see people are jumping into the comments. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate all of you being here. Hey, shout out. If you got questions on social media, we're getting those answered for you today. Make sure you're sending all the love here on the YouTube channel. All right. Lindsay was in our comments on YouTube as well today, and she said, I love going live. Yes, girl. Yes, girl. What's holding me back is that I'm very chatty. So videos are longer than 15 minutes and can't be shared to Instagram TV. And I'd like to use them for more than just one time. I cut off a little bit of that there. That's a good thing I screen grabbed that earlier. So Lindsay, here's the deal. Instagram TV, IGTV does have a time limit. Unless you're like a super famous person, you do have a time limit and your videos cannot go over that time limit. And it does make it a little bit hard to repurpose content over there. However, the cool thing is that you have to keep in mind you shouldn't be putting the same video in the exact same way in every location. So what you put on YouTube and what you put on Facebook and what you do on your live broadcast should not necessarily be the exact same content you're putting on 5 other platforms. Now, why is that? This is because if people are following you on more than one platform, they're going to see the same content. And if it's just the same things, why would they bother following you in all the places when they could just follow you in one place and get your content? So let's just pretend that you are going to be creating a video and you're going to put it on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Why am I going to follow you on all 3 platforms if it's just the same thing, if I'm getting the same thing over and over again? That's probably getting a little tedious, and I'm probably going to maybe not follow you on some of those because I just want it once. So it's important to kind of change things up. Now, that doesn't mean you can't use the same content. I do. I use a lot of the same content, but I repurpose it differently. Now, sometimes I leave it the same. Sometimes it's the same video in the same places at different times so different audiences see it. But I also repurpose what I'm doing and clip it up. So if you've got a really good video that you did on a live broadcast and you want to use it on IGTV, you can. You just have to turn it into a teaser video or a niche down version of what you did on your live. So let's say you're answering questions on your live broadcast and you came up with some dang good answers. Clip those out and put the highlight reel on IGTV. And then tell them, if you want to see the full version, go over to my YouTube page or go over to my Facebook page and watch the full thing. It's a great teaser. Or you can niche it down. So let's say you are doing something like I'm doing right now, where you've got an Ask Me Anything, you're answering multiple questions from multiple people. Maybe what I want to do is focus on one of those questions. Maybe I want to actually hone down right onto this question and put this out on my IGTV as a niche down, pulled out, drawn out version of what we discussed. I'm just going to take that little clip and I'm going to put that over on IGTV. In fact, if I wanted to do that, I could create maybe 5 videos out of this video and get even more over on IGTV and space those out. You don't have to use a video in its entirety, and you don't have to use everything within that video. You can clip it up. You can put it in sections. You can use very specific parts of it, and you can treat it like a teaser. So there are lots of ways that you can do that to get your content over on IGTV if it happens to be longer than the time limit. Thanks for writing in, Lindsay. I appreciate you hanging out on the YouTube page. We are going to take a look at some more questions that came in, and I see that we've also got some fantastic questions coming in. So let's take a look. How to get action blocked remove on Insta. Oh, okay. So on Instagram, if you are posting too much, if you look like you're potentially spamming people, if you are copy and pasting comments, if you are not engaging in unique ways every time you do it, you could be seen as a bot. And sometimes Instagram will block you at that point. Now, we have done videos on the shadow ban, which Instagram has actually denied that the shadow ban exists, but we have seen it happen. So I'm not entirely convinced that the shadow ban does not exist. So what you need to do, if you have been blocked, you need to stop acting like a bot if that is something that you have done. And even if it's something you have not done, what you need to do is take a step back from your account. Stay off of it for 2 to 3 full days. Don't post. Don't do anything. Don't try to interact because you want your algorithm to calm down. You want Instagram to see you're not going after things. You're not talking to too many people. You're not trying to elicit conversation from people. You just need to bring it down, let it go for just a couple of days, stay clear of it, and then come back into the app. About 24 to 72 hours after you get blocked, it will remove that from you in most cases, and you should be able to post again. When you do, go very, very slow. It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since you were blocked on Instagram. Okay, have you been on your Instagram platform? And I mean, like, going into the app. Don't go into the app. Like, leave it sit. Don't touch it. We've got videos on the shadow ban. If you actually send me a DM or send me an email, I can send you a link to my shadow ban video. I'll actually put it in the comments after this episode as well. You can kind of see how that is working for you. But if I'm getting more comments, if you reach out to me, email me or send me a DM on social media, I'll see if I can kind of talk you through this. But it is important to like stay off and not go on the app, period. And I would need a little more information, like, are you able to post? Are you able to comment? Is your stuff just being hidden from people? So give me a little more information. We'll see what we can do. But when it comes to getting blocked, usually what you have to do is stop and stay out of the app for like 2-3 days, then go back in and be very, very slow about what you're posting to make sure that you are not perceived as a potential bot. Send me a little more info. We'll talk about it. Moving on, we've got a couple more questions. Let me see. We've also got some comment love. Christian was in our YouTube comments this week and says, fantastic video. Your charisma and energy are top notch. I'm subbed. Hey, Christian, we're excited that you've joined the team. Thank you for taking the time to invest in creating your profitable business through smart social media marketing. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you are hanging out, checking out these fantastic videos. Thanks so much for the comment love. All right, let's see. Reading comments. Give me 1 second. That's what I do on Insta when I post new videos on YouTube. Oh, okay. Comment love for using the teasers over on IGTV when you've got new YouTube videos. Good. I'm glad you're doing this right. All right, let's take a look at our video. And if you've got more questions, I would love to get those answered. We are live every single Wednesday for 20 minutes right here on YouTube at 10 a.m. Eastern, and I would love to get your questions answered for you. If you're having fun, make sure you bring your friends so that they can get their questions answered as well. And don't forget, we are dropping new videos every Tuesday and Friday. We've got our talk show and our podcast. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But we do have one more question I am going to get answered because we are running right to the end of our time today. So let's go ahead and take a look. Alexa says, as an artist, how often should I be posting to Instagram? All right, Alexis, here's the deal. As an artist, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, I do recommend that you are posting once a day on Instagram. Sometimes more. It depends on your niche. It depends on your industry, and it depends on your fan base. So if you are someone who gets people talking to you a lot, who wants to see your art a lot, or your product or your service or whatever your business happens to be, you should be posting at least once a day. Once a day offers that communication and it doesn't overwhelm people. Now, if you are someone who gets a ton of conversation, go ahead and post more than once. I know in some of my businesses, I'm posting 2-3 times a day and my fans are loving it. They're engaging with it. I'm not seeing a drop in my likes. I'm not seeing a drop in my comments. And so I know that it's okay for me to be posting that much because my people are accepting it and are reacting to it. Now, if I start to post 2, 3, 4 times a day and I see a drop in all of my likes and comments, that means they're not sure which one to respond to. They're seeing too much and they don't want to see me as much, which means I need to pull back. So I would recommend posting once a day, at least 5 times a week. If you need to take a day or 2 off, that's okay. But as often as possible, so you have a daily source of communication with your people. So I would post on Instagram at least once a day in your main feed, and then I would post a couple of stories to your Instagram story to get those interactions, use those comment boxes, use the questions, the sliders, the polls, all those fun, fabulous things, and develop that level of trust with them when they see what you are putting out with your content. Now, I know specifically as an artist, that can be a little hard to post once a day because it takes time for you to actually create your art. I know it is not an overnight, well, it's not an overnight process. It's not a couple minute process either. So for you as an artist specifically, Alexis, I would post your final image and then I would post maybe a video of you drawing it. I would post maybe some of the coloring. I would do maybe the line art and you can space it out. So if you get 1 drawing per week, you can then do the final drawing, the sketch, the line art, the coloring, the behind the scenes video of time lapse, how you did it, and repurpose that content and package it in different ways so that you can put out something every single day, but you don't have to create a new art piece every single day. So that would be my goal for you, Alexis, is to create 1 piece per week and then to space out what you're doing. And then get that out on Instagram so you can have that conversation with people. All right, like I said, we are live every single Wednesday here for 20 minutes on YouTube, answering your questions in real time. I would love for you guys to join us while we're having all the fun to get your questions answered in real time every single week. And if you are needing help with your hashtags, I've got a little present for you guys before we go. So if you are someone looking for help with your Instagram hashtags to level up and get seen more on Instagram, you can grab hashtag.kmrobinson.com. This is a free PDF for you guys where I'm breaking down all the best hashtags to use and the #1 offender that you're almost positively using that is killing your account. I tell you what it is, why not to use it, and what to use instead. Grab it at hashtag.kmrobinson.com and stay tuned because we drop new videos every single Tuesday and Friday. Hit the subscribe and notification bell so that you don't miss out on all the fun there. And make sure you stay tuned because this weekend we are launching the Social Media for Bosses podcast. This comes out every single Sunday. We're going to be dropping some really great content. We've got amazing guests who are coming to teach us about ads. We're going to be talking about social media marketing. We're going to be talking about saving money within your business. It's going to be so dang good in the podcast and also in the live broadcast talk show, which is every single Friday. Make sure you stay tuned. Did I do that wrong? Thursday. Yep, did it wrong. Sorry, guys. Every single Thursday at 3 p.m., we are going to be going live with the Social Media for Bosses talk show right here live on YouTube, where you're going to see some of these guests that will be the same as the podcast and some that are different. Entirely different content on the talk show and the podcast. And we're going live every single Thursday at 3 p.m. for the Social Media for Bosses talk show. I almost said podcast. The podcast is coming out every single Sunday, so make sure you stay tuned because we're breaking down all the goodness to create a profitable business through smart social media marketing. Thanks, guys, so much for joining me. I am KM Robinson, your social media marketing strategist here at kmrobinson.com and Social Media for Bosses. I will see you again next Wednesday. Drop your questions if you've got them, and we will get those answered next week in our live broadcast or in one of my videos that are coming up every single Tuesday and Friday. Have a great day, guys. Until next time, stay inspired. Bye-bye.